Okay, I'm going to start to put in a dark background. I am known for my dark backgrounds. What I attempt to do here is to repeat the colors of my painting in the background. The trick is the flat brush again. I'm going to start with brown matter taken right out of the well. I'm going to start with enough water, only enough water for flow, cross-hatching motion. Clean my brush off. I'm going to go in with some Sap Green this time and join it. A little bit of Sap Green. Now some Mineral Violet. Now, the point of this is to try to get a dark background that has life in it, that colors show through. And I'm always asked about this, so there's a lot of demos, a lot of demonstrations of this in my book as well. So so far now I've used brown matter, Sap Green, Mineral Violet. I'm going to go back in with, because there's so much pink in here, let's put some Permanent Rose in here. Let's put Permanent Rose in here. Now you don't want this the consistency of coffee, tea, or milk. You want this the consistency of butter. I'm not going to say, and I suppose I could say cream, yes. Butter is better. Now you've got those colors on there and they're still wet. This is the trick. Flat brush, indigo. Now what I'm attempting to do here is drop the indigo right out of the well, again in a cross-hatching motion when this is wet. Not painting this like a house. I'm dropping it in so that the colors that are underneath will show through. That's how I do my dark backgrounds. Again, as before, I only do a small patch at a time. See that? That looks pretty good right now. Now if there's a spot, let's say there was a spot that I didn't like, I would go back in after it was dry and just pull the paint over top of it. But right now I'm going to do one more patch. We're going to go in with brown matter again. Let's put the green, Sap Green, right behind the pink. Back into the Permanent Rose. Back into the Mineral Violet. Look how much I use that pad. Have you noticed? I hope you've all noticed that that pad is, I mean, it's a absolutely wonderful thing. It doesn't get smelly like the sponges do. If it gets really wet, I put it in the dryer. No, I do not wash it. You could add a little indigo, not indigo, magenta if you wanted to. Again, I've only done a small patch. Now I clean the brush off and I go into the indigo and I pull that down. Each time I go in, cross-hatching, letting it move, trying to hang on to the colors that are underneath. I'm just darkening that area right there. So that's how I do my dark backgrounds. Flat brush, only enough water for flow. When it's all wet. Don't try to do it when it's dry. Now let's say you get a mess. You do this beautiful painting and you get a mess of a background. Let it dry and go back in, not with a round brush, because the round brush is going to pick up the paint and it's going to add water and it's going to make it worse. Go in with a flat brush and take any transparent paint that you've got and run it all over top of it. It will soften things away and it'll make it pull it all together. Now this big dark hole right here, this is another little trick, okay? Another little trick. This big dark hole here, I left there for a reason. Once you've got the paint down and it's dry, go to the magic brush again and watch this. This is how I do the stamens and all of this. We're going to wet it with a round. I'm going to wet a shape back here. I'm going to give this hibiscus that's back in there, I'm going to give it a stem. Now I'm wetting it because basically this transparent paint has dried, and all you're going to do is go in and lift. Got the soaking wet brush now. Watch the magic. Now I lift it out, the shape. Voila, there it is. But the best part is this, watch. Take a little bit of, let's say, greenish yellow, and drop it into that while it's still wet. And you've got all kinds of things that you can make happen back in here. When let's just say I finish this painting, I've got all the dark background in, and I decide I need another leaf somewhere. When that background's dry, I can go in, I would draw the shape of a leaf, I would wet it and lift it with my scrubber, and I can put anything in the background. All you have to do is lift it out. Here's an example of some crystal with the dark background, but you can see the reds and greens that are in the painting in the background there. That's what I aim for all the time, those big deep darks.